If getting outside is at the top of your activities list lately, then I suggest you come and experience all that the Oakdale Discovery Center and Nature Preserve has to offer. Conveniently located just south of Highway 36 and Hadley Avenue, this picturesque landscape, home to an award-winning Discovery Center, has it all, from hands-on exhibits inside the center and a historic one-room schoolhouse nearby, to paved hiking and biking trails that wind through 220 acres of woods, water, and prairie. The park also has tennis courts, a playground area, and picnic shelters. There's so much to do and see here year-round. During the winter months, an indoor market unfolds inside the Discovery Center, and we'll take you inside one of the last markets for the season on this edition of Local Image. But first, let's meet one of the vendors who lives in neighboring North St. Paul, where he shares his passion for crafting a tasty cup of coffee.
My name is Aaron Sin. This is Drogo Joe Coffee Roasters. This is my own little shop right in my home to produce fresh roasted coffee for the local community. Drogo is actually the patron saint of coffee roasters and coffee houses. Kind of got into coffee in my young adult life, going to coffee shops and watching them make it fresh. Fell in love with the fresh roasted taste because when I bought it at the grocery store, it never tasted the same. At that point, I took to my tinkering skills and dissected the family stir-crazy popcorn machine. That was about 7 years ago, and I started roasting in my garage. Of course, I started thinking bigger, and then I went bigger, bigger, bigger. This roaster that I'm going to demonstrate today is actually called a fluid bed roaster. Most coffee roasters are kind of like a clothes dryer. They have a drum and fins. I actually did design it, so I borrowed some ideas and then took my obsessive tinkering and came up with my own unique version. This roaster, you can think of it as kind of a giant hot air popcorn machine, or sort of a chimney where the beans are circulating in a current of hot air. So I control the air pressure and the gas pressure, which drives the temperature and how quickly they roast. So it gives me a lot of control. This comes off the beans as they roast, and it's very similar to like a peanut husk, but obviously I don't want it spraying out the roof, so it's captured in these filter bags during each batch. And this thing over here is the cooling tray, so it's perforated stainless steel bottom. The hot beans get poured very quickly into the tray, and there's a fan underneath which pushes all of the hot air and gases off the beans and cools them usually in about 1 minute or so. They're cool to the touch. You're getting very fresh coffee, very local coffee, and I guess that's another one of the enigmas is coffee doesn't grow here, so it sort of has that exotic aspect to it. Somewhat of a glorified hobby. I'm taking my coffee to farmers markets, inviting people to place orders and pick the coffee up here or different places. I really lucked out being so close to the Oakdale location.
So today is Oakdale Indoor Market. We have 7 throughout the year. This is our 5th one, or 6th one, sorry. We have one more after this on March 26th. And what I do is I contact vendors and see if they want to be part of this.
On a whim, I just emailed them saying, hey, I roast coffee. I'd really like to sell it at your market. And they got back to me right away and said, we're actually looking for a coffee person.
We have 25 total vendors this year. Anywhere from 21 to 23 show up. Today we have a full house.
It's really a nice variety of people doing what they enjoy. You know, they're there because they enjoy it.
You know, so it's local artisan products, mainly food products. We have a few arts and crafts that have come kind of grandfathered in throughout the years.
What do? I make birdhouses. I'm retired. So I feel that birdhouses should be fun to look at for people. And if the birds move in, that's a plus.
Some of the vendors, bakeries, a couple of bakeries, Bitmad Bakery is here, Grateful Bed Bakery. We also have Bearwood Sugar Brush. Here he does honey and jams and maple syrup. We have Sincata Farms. They're from New Richmond, Wisconsin. They do anything in a jar you can think of. It's the easiest way I put it.
These are my favorite pickles. I got my sister to get these, and she likes them so well, she gave them to another friend, and who knows, it just explodes.
Salsas, pickles, fruit, vegetables. Really great products. A couple other ones. We have a new one today, soy candles. We have essential oils that are here.
This is Young Living Essential Oils. It's 100% pure therapeutic grade oils to kind of supplement your medicine cabinet. So this is my third year at the market, and it's been just great. The different people, the different vendors, building relationships with the folks.
It's good to see you guys.
That's half the reason I go, is just it's fun to meet people. And
really great to have an option to support local people and the community.
You know, it's a great setting. The building in the park is a great setting. You come in and you feel relaxed right away. You know, having the coffee for the shoppers is a nice perk. Just making them feel at home, and not any pressure to buy any product, just to come look, and that's what the vendors do here.
People love it. People love it because it's no MSG, zero trans fat, locally made, everything from scratch, handmade. It's the best pierogi in town.
So our last market here is March 26th, the day before Easter, and from then on out we have until a couple months, and then we start up in June again. June 8th, I believe, is the day, and running through October 26th is our outdoor farmers market, and that's at the City Hall parking lot at Richard Walton Park. We have about the same amount of vendors, but it's tailored to the season. So you're going to have more produce vendors there, fresh produce. But we do have a lot of the same vendors that are part of the indoor market here that go to the outdoor market. And then we bridge that gap, I think, that way to keep people interested.
I'm really a proponent of building community, getting to know people, and building that kind of old sense of America that we've sort of lost. I kind of generally appreciate that.
Oakdale's indoor market will return in December, but you can look for several of the vendors this summer at the Farmers Market hosted outside Oakdale City Hall. Now, across town at Panera Bread in Vadnais Heights, something was brewing recently when patrons were invited to sip their brew while they chewed and had a conversation with law enforcement. It was a cops and coffee kind of morning.
In the 30 years I've been around here, this is the first, and I think it's great to come so the locals can actually talk to them like people instead of having your only relationship with the flashing red light in the rear view.
Connecting with people is really what community policing is all about. Getting to know one another, getting to know why we're who we are, what we are, that there's more than just a badge, there's more than just a uniform.
The Ramsey County Sheriff's Department has adopted a new community outreach program, Coffee with a Cop, where residents can sit down with their local law enforcement in a relaxed setting and discuss anything that comes to mind.
Like the sign says in the advertisement, there's no agenda or speeches, and we don't have a platform or anything that we're, preaching out here.
Topics range from issues in the neighborhoods to just getting to know one another.
It's just that we're people like everybody else. We're human and so receptive, so just come up and talk to us.
Perhaps we can change some perceptions of police officers, and also just by getting to know the community, we can serve them better, tailor our responses, and also be a positive role model for others.
The program is proving to be beneficial for both the community and law enforcement.
They just worked out so well. The public receives this very well, and it doesn't cost a thing. Doesn't cost the establishments anything or the sheriff's office. Everybody here is on duty, so we just pulled people from different parts of the department, and it's a success.
So much so that the officers spend the entire time interacting with residents.
We didn't even get 10 feet in the door, and the 3 old-timers sitting in the front, they just started talking right away, and they didn't even know anything about Coffee with a Cop, so they just started talking about what's going on.
A big change from the way the deputies used to patrol the 7 cities in northern Ramsey County that they provide enforcement for.
We've been providing contract law enforcement for these cities for over 50 years.
Way back in the old days, you seen a sheriff deputy maybe once a week or a couple times a week drive by.
It's hard to talk to somebody when you're cruising along at 20 miles an hour. You know, cruising through the neighborhood, you can wave, but you can't really enter into a conversation. So this gives us a chance to get back to the days where, you know, you could walk down Main Street and there's somebody every 25 feet that you encounter.
A change that has been beneficial for officers.
This is a great opportunity, kind of bringing them out of their comfort zone a little bit, and getting to know the community on a different type of basis. They're not responding to calls. They're not seeing people at a bad time.
And for residents of all ages.
So, yeah, it truly was all ranges, from teenagers to 85-year-olds.
The sheriff's office goal is to make all of their communities safer.
The sheriff's office is here to help and to serve. We want to know what's going on. If you see something that's happening in the neighborhood, let us know.
Don't be afraid to call the police. I mean, if you trust your gut. If you think something's going on outside, if it's 2 in the morning and there's a suspicious vehicle in the neighborhood, call us, you know, call 911.
And by interacting more with residents, officers hope to continue an open dialogue.
People know that we're ready to talk, or that they can come up and bother us. So, and it's no bother though, that's the key.
Well, I've stepped inside the historic one-room schoolhouse located at the Oakdale Nature Preserve for a visit with a couple of gentlemen who can tell us a lot more about this historic structure. I'm joined by Bill Rasmussen and Jim Morphew.
Correct.
Thanks for joining me, guys.
Oh, thanks.
Bill, you're a city council member for the city of Oakdale. And Jim, what was your background?
I was in the RV business for 30 years.
A long time.
Yeah.
And other people might recognize or know you as Hobo Jim.
Minnesota Jim.
Minnesota Jim.
Right. King of the Hobos.
King of the Hobos. Right. That's a whole nother story, and we'll get into that in another show. But thank you for joining me in this great schoolhouse. Let's get a little bit of the history here. How old is this structure?
Well, it was built in 1885, right, Jim?
I believe so.
Yep. 1885 originally.
Okay, and where was it originally located? Because it wasn't here on the grounds.
No, it was out on Lake Jane Trail.
Okay.
It was on the Eater Farm, and they're the ones that donated it to us.
And it moved here. How long ago?
At 2000.
Something like that. Yeah.
So it's been here for a while.
Yeah, and we had it moved here.
Right.
And why? Why did you want to do all that?
To preserve it.
Yep. And the city was nice enough to give us a lot to put it on here.
Right.
And it helped us out. And so we decided to put a basement underneath it so we can put our records and that in there. There's a lot of records here from Lake Elmo and from Oakdale. So.
Let's see, it was the last remaining schoolhouse. It would have been destroyed in just a few years.
Right.
And it was all gutted out when we moved it over here, and Bill and I volunteered to try to refurbish it. And
a labor of love, no doubt.
And as we got money to buy materials.
Right. We got some good pictures they can look at and see what it was that we started out with.
Perfect.
And that's what helped us get that the Historic Preservation Award, is because we started with almost nothing, so we put it together, and they were astonished what we completed with. We started out with a framework and siding on the outside and the windows. Had a metal roof on it. Had to redo a few joists in here and rafters. So it was basic and everything was stripped out of the inside, so we had to
Right,
redo those.
I took all the windows home and put them in my shop and cleaned them up and got them ready for reglazing, and then brought them back and put them in.
What are your plans for this schoolroom now that it's kind of open more to the public?
I think we want the children to use it more. They come in here because they come in and say, oh, this was the school that grandma went to, you know, like this. So I bought some easels, which are on the desk, and 'cause that's what they use, the slates. You know, years ago they didn't have the paper and the pencil, they just used those. And the kids love them. They pick up the chalk and start writing right away.
What would it have been like in this schoolroom back when it was, you know, used fully? How many children would have attended and that kind of thing?
I think there was 14 to 20, so.
Yeah, something like that. They started out with the small ones over here, you know, first, second, third, and fourth, and so on.
Yeah, and you can see the bigger chairs for the older kids, and then they go down to the smaller ones in first grade or so. And it worked out good. But to me, looking at it, if we preserved something that was really rich in this town, and thanks to the Eater family, who their father put tin on the roof, it kind of saved it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to save it.
Oh my goodness.
And Mrs. Eater, she went to school here.
Okay.
When she was young, and we thank them from the city and everything for all they've done for us. And she's passed away now, but we really miss her too. She used to come to every one of the meetings. It was the Lake Elmo Oakdale Historical Society.
Okay.
And then we couldn't really take care of it that much anymore, and they wanted it. So we kind of made a swap with them, so they will take care of it.
You're speaking about the Historical Society, Washington County Historical Society.
We also have to thank the city of Oakdale.
Yep, they did a lot of work for us too, backfilled it, and they had a carpenter do the entrance area and then the roof. They wouldn't let Jim and I up there. They said we were too old to go on the roof.
Well, this is really a unique structure to have, especially at this great facility here at the Oakdale Nature Preserve. Stepping back in time and...
Oh, definitely. And it goes with the park here. It's all nature reserve and preserve, and so we preserve this too, and it's just in a nice spot.
It's really a gem here that people should definitely come out and see and participate in. And so we want to thank you for all of your hard work. I mean, hours and hours and hours and labor that went into getting this school looking so great. And so you want to come out and check it out. You want to encourage them, starting this summer, there'll be a full kind of a schedule of events and activities. Where might people be able to find out more about that, do you think?
It's on the website, and it's on there, and then the Washington County Historical Society will do advertising for it.
Okay.
And, but they've already set up some dates on Sundays and that somebody would be here. I just like to invite everybody this summer to come and see it.
Right. Absolutely. And thanks to all those, obviously you weren't the only ones who worked on this. There were many, many people involved across the board that helped make it happen. So thank you to them and to you guys for all your hard work.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go back inside now to the Discovery Center here at the Oakdale Nature Preserve for yet another one of the many type of events hosted here throughout the year. This one was a health and wellness event, and it caught the attention of a local resident who knows that sitting out on the action isn't in her best interest.
I just retired January 1st, and I'm just kind of looking for things to kind of keep myself moving, and I saw that they were offering some wellness plus programs, and I thought I'd come and check it out.
So for the percentile ranking, what we do is we take these two tests and we look and see where you are for your age group. You are in the 55th percentile for that. Okay. It's very good. Yes, it is. If you have any concerns or questions,
we've had some amazing people come that were in the 100 percentile, and they're like 75 years old. It's like, wow. It's really important to take personal responsibility, and that it's up to each and every one of us to stay strong and decide what are your priorities, you know, what's important to you in staying healthy.
The goal for adults 50 plus is 150 minutes per week for 12 consecutive
We've been hosting these events now since over a year now that we've been running them. And today we're doing a program on senior fit test. And the senior fit test is a test that basically would give you an idea, an adult an idea. If they take it at 65, it would tell you your mobility by the time you are 85.
You will put your arms across your chest, put them on your shoulders, but you can't use your arms for momentum. That's why you need to keep your arms here. All right, go. Stop. Okay.
Also, part of the program is looking at skin cancer and skin cancer screening.
Skin cancer is the #1 most common cancer in the United States. As you can see, a stage 1, a very early melanoma, but of course, a melanoma, these can be deadly and they should be evaluated by your dermatologist.
We are a group here in town, been formed about 16 years ago now. We were formed out of the University of Minnesota, and our mission is around civic engagement, creating common purpose for older adults. We are headquarters in North St. Paul. We have about 3,500 members that get our newsletters on a monthly basis. We've developed a volunteer team here in Oakdale.
One of the women I'm in yoga with was part of the group, and she was talking about it one day, and I thought, oh, that sounds really interesting. It sounds like a good cause. It sounds like something I could that would resonate with me. And so I asked her more about it, and they were looking for more volunteers, and I just came to some meetings, and I've decided that, yeah, this is great. I really do enjoy it.
All the time we hear, you know, I just had this little scratch, I got bitten by a mosquito, I thought it was a little pimple. But that one is one that we should take a little bit longer of a look at. Yes, this is a very common type of lesion called a seborrheic keratosis. They can be big, small. It's likely your mom or dad had them as well.
I just thought it was a sore.
Of course, well, I'm glad that you came in. I'm glad that we got to see it.
When we take a look at aging, we look at it from a frame of reference, and we look at it from a frame of reference of our grandparents. And our grandparents really, they lived, and if you lived to be in your 60s, you were considered old. So we hold those same frames of reference. But because of the medical areas today, we are living longer, we are living healthier, and we have more time and more resources to really do things with. But we got to get people out of the mindset that, being in 60, you really got to be active. You really do. You have to take care of yourself. You have to be able to eat the right foods and to, and to really be active in what you do and have an active mind.
We would love to have more people become involved.
Give it a try. Reach out, seek out fitness avenues to keep yourself moving.
Feel free to give us a holler, and again, vital-aging-network.org.
Oakdale's Wellness 50-plus team is always seeking volunteers and participants for their many grassroots created events. And if someone like Mark Sky is involved, then it has to be good stuff. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the good stuff we packed into today's show featuring the Oakdale Nature Preserve and wonderful Discovery Center. Please do come check this place out for yourself, and do join me in May for another new show. Until then, I'm Judy Sky Voss, and I do thank you for watching Local Image.
As bikers gather on a rainy April morning, ride organizer John Ridge doesn't stay in one place for long.
Yes, sir. Welcome. Good to have you on the ride.
The Gateway Loop is a really fun loop.
All right. Fantastic.
And he works his butt off for both rides.
He is giving advice.
There's some road construction on Manning that made it impossible for us to go that way. And then you just work your way back to the fairgrounds.
Fixing problems.
Right now, it'll be on its way in about 30 seconds. No problem. Is your square hooked up?
I didn't see one.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to do. You guys are set out there. That'll be good.
And generally being a good host.
We've got coffee and food in the volunteer room in the corner of that building. If you want anything, help yourselves. If you guys want coffee or food or anything to eat, go in that building.
Weather during the annual kickoff of the Minnesota bike season can be unpredictable.
Our little tagline has always been, well, that's why we call it the Ironman, with the expectation that weather's going to be a challenge.
Because it's not an Ironman if the weather doesn't suck.
But that doesn't stop thousands of riders from attending the Minnesota Ironman.
On a blistery cold, windy, rainy day, to have 1,500 people on their bikes, wanting to bike anywhere from 30 to 100 miles is pretty amazing. This is the 48th year for the Ironman.
With months of planning.
We really start about 6 months in advance of the ride, getting started for it.
And lots of hard work.
We have to deal with corporate sponsorships and work with lots of businesses that want to get involved with us. We try to get all of our website up and running, our registration going. We have to know all the routes and all the logistics in place. The ride needs about 200 volunteers for us to produce it.
The riders are on the road, rain or shine.